Hey guys, Sam here, Acid Sea Force, and we're gonna do something a little bit different this time. I want to talk about The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. No like theory videos, none of that stuff. There's like a bunch of stuff out there. I know we're primarily Blizzard fans, but really in heart we're Nintendo fans. We grew up on the NES, the SNES, the N64, GameCube, and eventually the Wii and the Wii U, and soon to be the Switch. Both Jonathan and I love Nintendo. We're huge Zelda fans. We're big Mario fans. What I want to talk about with Zelda today, with Breath of the Wild coming out in just 3 weeks, I'm very excited. I want to talk about my most favorite things that I would love to have in this game. 5 things. Five. Not 10, 5. That I think would make the game even better. Like, it's already blowing my mind, but like I'm on like the brink of just hoping for these things that will maybe show up, maybe won't. But let's get right into it. The first one I want to talk about is a type of weapon. Now, we know you're going to be using swords, which is like the Hylian weapon, hammers and axes, which we could associate with the Gorons, spears, which you can associate with the Zoras, and bows, which you can associate with the Rito. Now, I want a weapon that associates with the Gerudo, and I want what they use in Ocarina of Time, which is dual-wielding scimitars. All right? Now, I really think this would be really cool, and I really hope they do it. Now, you don't have to make it 2 individual weapons. You can just make it a dual weapon. Takes up 1 item slot, and it's like double scimitars or something. But Link dual-wielding would be really cool. He's already wielding axes, bows, and swords, and spears, and maybe other stuff. But I really think having that Gerudo-esque feel to him when you go into the desert, and just, having a faster attack speed, and, being all Prince of Persia with your doing this like Prince of Persia. You know how Prince of Persia does that? I think would be really cool. It's something small, but I would love to see Link dual wield. The other idea, number 4, which order am I going in? The second one, I would love to see one or the other, either the Pegasus Boots or the Roc's Feather. Now, these have not been in a game in a very long time, and if they have, they've been in a 2D game and not in a 3D game. They've never made it into a 3D game. The Pegasus Boots essentially makes Link run really fast, and usually it makes him charge with his sword forward. And I would love to see that in the game, having Link run maybe almost as fast as a horse, or maybe it's like a super secret item where he runs faster than a horse. I think it'd feel really good. Maybe not runs faster than a horse. That would completely null the point of horses. But, maybe a little bit slower than a horse. Or maybe it gives you unlimited stamina. I don't know, but I would love to see the Pegasus Boots to some degree. And also the Roc's Feather to allow you to jump higher. That's what it did in the other games. It allowed you to jump in general. Link already knows how to jump in Breath of the Wild. So why not make him jump higher? 3 times higher, 4 times higher, 5 times higher, 20 times higher? Nothing too high. Just something that makes you feel good when you jump. Maybe like the height of when you flip off the horse. That's like decent height, But yeah, I would love to either see the Pegasus Boots or the Roc's Feather. That's my second wish list thing. Yeah. For the third thing that I would love to see in Breath of the Wild is another fight with Shadow Link. We haven't had one of those in a 3D Zelda game, from what I can remember, since Ocarina of Time, since the first 3D Zelda game. That was the coolest fight. He was like the most iconic mid-boss ever. You walk into the room full of water, and there's a tree in the middle, and it's really weird, and as you walk to the other side of the room, you're like, oh, I can't open the door, and you come back and your reflection is gone, and then you see some kind of shadow at the tree, and it's just, oh, it's so good. And then you fight him, and he's like parrying, copying all your moves. It'd be really cool to see Shadow Link reimagined in Breath of the Wild, maybe in a similar setting to have the nostalgia factor. Maybe like on a lake, where you walk on the lake. I don't know how you walk on the lake. Maybe get some walking water boots. But it'd be really cool with that reflection aspect. I would love to see Shadow Link again in a 3D Zelda, especially in a Zelda like this, where it could be a really interesting battle. 4th on my list is having a flying mount. Okay? This, I think, would be awesome. Now, I'm not really, I don't, what I imagine for a flying mount in this game is not the bird things. I forget what they're called. The bird things, the bird dragons in Skyward Sword. And like maybe he could ride a dragon, but what I really imagine him riding is some type of Pegasus thing, a horse with wings. Just the idea of him running and then jumping off a cliff, or galloping and then jumping off a cliff and then spreading its wings out and then flying. To me, the idea feels so good. And then like as you're flying, you're diving down, and then you can land and keep running again. Like you keep that same momentum. That's why I like the idea of a Pegasus, is because you can move fast on ground and then easily transition to the air and vice versa, and it would have a satisfying feeling. That is really cool, and I really hope that there is some type of flying, maybe not a Pegasus, it would be cool, but some kind of flying mount, preferably a mount, not a machine. Yeah, not a machine. That would give you the option. Like this would be like way late in the game. This would probably be a bonus thing. You do this like super hard side quest that you finally get this super cool flying mount that makes life a million times easier. And there's only one of them. There's only one. You can't like go out and like capture a bunch. Or maybe there's different ones and you can capture them all. I don't know. But yeah, flying mount. I think that would be awesome. And for my fifth request, wish list, thing that I want in Breath of the Wild is to play as Zelda. Now, I'm not talking about, you start a new file and you just switch who you want to be. No, I'm talking about either A, there's parts of the game where you have like a flashback or whatever, and you get to play as Zelda, just for a little bit. Or even B, this would be a huge thing, which I would love to have, but once again, huge thing, is where once you've beaten the game once, you can restart a new game as Zelda and play her side of the story. Same world, same map, maybe move the positioning of monsters and items, but you play as Zelda and she starts somewhere else on the map. Maybe change the difficulties around as well, but she starts somewhere else on the map and you have to play from her point of view and her story, and essentially it's the same story, but maybe you learn a little bit more. And maybe she can only use certain weapons. Maybe she can't use like those heavy weapons, like the spears and the axes and the maces. Maybe she can only use swords and bows. So you have to maybe you have to sneak around for the first little bit. I don't know. You can make it different. But of course, it's a lot of effort, and I do not expect them to do that. But it would be very cool if they did, right? So I'm fanboying out right now with Breath of the Wild. It's already on pre-order. Jonathan already pre-ordered as well. We both pre-ordered Switches. We're very excited. We're hoping to live stream. It doesn't look like that will be the case, just due to some issues that we're having. But that's my wish list. I want dual wielding. I want a Shadow Link. I want Pegasus Boots with Rock's Feather. I want a flying mount, and I want the option to play as Zelda at some point in the game at least, because she looks cool. So yeah, guys, I hope you're excited. I know we don't normally make videos like this, but I just need to get out of my system, and I hope you guys are excited too, because to me the hype is very, very, very real. I will see you in Hyrule, March 3rd. Fare thee well.